Hello my dear students, I welcome you to the NEET world. So this is our second lecture on periodic table and classification of elements and their properties. Okay. So here, in the last class we have discussed about the early developments for the periodic table, right? So now we will be discussing about properties of elements. The first one is atomic radius. So what is our first property here? Atomic radius. So we know the size of an atom can be given with respect to its radius. So let us say this is a atom, okay, this is the center part of the atom, we can say consider it as nucleus. So the distance from the center, from the nucleus to outermost valency electron cloud, I can say. So outermost, see here, the radius can be based on the environment of atom. See here, so how do we define this? The distance between the nucleus to the outermost valency shell of an atom is considered as atomic radius. Okay, so this atomic radius depends on what? So what I am defining it? The distance between the nucleus and outermost shell of an atom is considered as atomic radius. Okay, so now this atomic radius, so depending upon based on the environment of atoms. Okay, so we have different atoms, right? Like some elements are in metallic form and some are non-metal, some are metalloids. Okay, so for this they have different types to like atomic radius depending upon the environment of that particular element or atom. So that can be covalent radius and that can be metallic radius or maybe van der Waals radius. So in case of noble gases like inert gases, we will be considering van der Waals radius. So always remember, van der Waals radius will be like greater than the metallic radius and which is greater than the covalent radius. See, like metallic, we know metals are very rich. So when we are calculating this metallic radius also, it will be which is relatively more than the covalent radius. Okay, so here metallic radius is generally taken for metals. Van der Waals radius is considered in the case of noble gases, and the remaining case we have covalent radius. So what is the order of these three radius? So you can say van der Waals radius is greater than metallic and which is greater than covalent. Okay, so how this like atomic radius varies in the periods and in the groups. So how it varies in groups and in periods. So let us see here. So variation of atomic radii in the periodic table. So first one, along the period. It means period means from here to here, from left to right. If we move, what happens? The covalent radii and van der Waals radii decreases with the increase in atomic number as we move from left to right. So in the periodic table, if you move from here, from S black elements to here, from to P black elements, from left to like from here to here, if we move, so what happens? So from S to P, if we move, what happens? So atomic radius decreases. So we know from here to here, if we move, from S block to P block, if we move, so here we have less atomic number, and if we move this side in the respective period, atomic number increases. So let us take second period elements. What we have? Like lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, like that. No? So if we move from this lithium to neon, what happens? So atomic number increases and its size decreases. So atomic radius decreases. Why it is decreasing? Because the electron enters into the same orbital. So when the electron enter into the same orbital, here atomic number is increasing, means what happens? Number of protons in the nucleus increases. If number of protons increases, that number of protons will strongly attract the electron towards itself. Therefore what happens? The effective nuclear charge is increasing, therefore size decreases because it will strongly pull that electrons towards itself, therefore size decreases as number of protons increases. Therefore from moving from lithium to neon, what happens? Size decreases. I hope it is clear. Okay, now what happens in the case of groups? Okay, so here we have I have taken it for period. See, second period elements if we consider, let us discuss about periods later. First look here, since we have data also. So from lithium to fluorine if we consider, see here, one more thing I should discuss here. From lithium to fluorine we can compare, since I told you that noble gases will be taken in terms of van der Waals radius. So in the respect to every period, if we say in the respective of each period, noble gases will be having more atomic radius. So we should not compare with the noble gas because its radius is measured in terms of van der Waals radius. So the remaining elements we can measure. So from lithium to fluorine we can compare them. Okay. So if we compare them, see it is having 152 for lithium, and so as we move from here to here, what happens? Atomic number increases but atomic radius decreasing. See, atomic radius is decreasing, right? I hope this is clear. So for third period also you can consider from sodium to chlorine it is mentioned. So here it is 186 to 199. So it means atomic radius is decreased. So this is a practical data. We have a graph also, graphical representation also. Okay, you should be aware of this graphs also. They may ask in terms of graphs also. You should need to identify them. So once again I am reminding that you should not miss any line from the NCERT. So while you are preparing. Okay. So now we will discuss about group. So in a particular group, so it means down the group. Like if you go from top to bottom in a periodic table. Okay, from lithium to cesium means these elements belongs to first group elements now. So now see here, size is increasing, radius if you compare, radius is increasing. So why it is so? Because now see as we move down the group, see lithium atomic number is 3, for sodium it is 11, for potassium it is 19. See the number is increasing. Number is increasing means here number of protons are also increases, number of electrons which we are adding also increases, right? Okay, so now this adding electron, whatever the electrons we are adding will enters into new nth level. So in the periods it will enters into same nth level, same principal quantum number, but here it enters into higher energy levels. So it means, for example here, what is the electronic configuration we are writing for lithium? So we are writing for lithium as, we are writing as 1s2 to 2s1. For sodium we are writing it as valency. I am directly writing valency. This is 3s1. Neon, just we are writing neon 3s1. For potassium we are writing 4s1. See here number, the coefficient here which we are using here 3, 4, 5, which is nothing but principal quantum number n. The value is getting increased as we move down the group. It means the radius, what happens? For example, this is the nucleus. So around the nucleus we have like electrons which are revolving in the nth shells, right? So see the n value is increasing, getting increased. So this is n1 if we say n2, if it is n3, see as n value increasing, the distance from the center point is getting increased, therefore radius is increasing. I hope this is clear. Okay, so down the group what happens? Atomic radius increases. These are the elements with the comparable values. So these are graphical representation for first group elements as well as halogens were provided here. Next we have ionic radius. Previously we discussed about atomic radius, now it is about ionic radius. So now let us say A is an atom. So now if we remove one electron from A, it will become A plus. What I did here, I removed one electron, minus one electron. It means I have removed one electron, therefore it becomes cation. Okay, this is atom, this is cation. Okay, now from the same A, so let us consider the atom A I am taking again. So from this to this atom A, I am adding one electron. Now what happens? It will becomes A minus. It means it is anion of this atom. I hope this is clear what I did here. Okay. Now these two are considered as ions. What I am saying? Cation and anion. Ions we can say. Cation here, it is cation and anion. And this is atom. Okay, so we are discussing about the ionic radius, the radius of these ions we are talking about. Okay, so always remember, always for a particular cation, anion, atom, if we consider, the radius of anion will be more than the atom and which is more than the cation. So you just remember cation, atom, anion I am writing, this will be, so this is a radius or size order, order. So why it is like this? Just now I told you how do we define atomic radius. Similarly we can do it for atomic radius also. See, the distance between the center, I mean nucleus to the outermost electron cloud, I mean whatever the electron in the outermost shell, we have to take the distance from center to that electron. Okay, so this distance will be more when we have more electrons in the more electron cloud. So in the outermost shell, if the electrons are more, we have expanded electron cloud, therefore the distance will be more. Since here it is positive charge, it means the effective nuclear charge will be more, therefore it will attract the valence electrons more closely towards itself, therefore the size shrinks, the size decreases when we compare with the atom. Okay, so cation size will be smaller than the atom, then the anion will be larger than this, you can remember. Okay, like this you can just make yourself for understanding purpose. Now, so you can follow the same trend for cations. As we move down the group, size will be what happens, increases, because atoms increases, similarly cations or anions also increases, same trend you can follow. Okay, now here we have a term called isoelectronic species. So this is a common point where you can expect a question. So what do we mean by isoelectronic species? Iso means the same, electrons. So the species with same number of electrons is considered as isoelectronic species. So let us see this example. See, isoelectronic species, those have same number of electrons. For example, O minus 2 and F minus. So I will be taking a fresh example here. So let us say we have same example I am writing here, otherwise. So if I write magnesium, atomic number is 12, so it will be having 12 electrons. But if I remove 2 electrons, it becomes Mg plus 2. It means now it has 10 electrons. Okay. Now if we have one more, sodium I am writing, so its atomic number is 11. If I remove 1 electron, it becomes 10 electrons in it. So since we removed 1 electron, you should write plus 1. Now before this, let us say fluorine we have. So what is the atomic number for fluorine? It is 9. So to this fluorine, now instead of removing, I am adding 1 electron, it becomes F minus. So now atomic number for fluorine atom is 9. Since we have added electron, becomes anion, now it will be 10 electrons. Similarly, oxygen atom, which is 8 electrons, by adding 2 it will become 10 electrons. Therefore we can write O minus 2. Like this I am writing. So all the species is having 10 electrons, right? So now we need to compare their sizes. So which ion has more size, which ion has less size. So this species is considered now as isoelectrons because same number of electrons, right? So you should say it as isoelectronic species. Okay. So when we compare the sizes of these isoelectronic species, we should take care of the nuclear charge. So atomic size, like size is inversely proportional to nuclear charge. Nuclear charge. So nuclear charge is nothing but positive charge. Where there is more positive charge, size will be less. More positive charge, size will be less. See, where is more positive charge here? Here we have more positive charge. So its size should be minimum, right? And here it is negative, it is positive. So when I compare with this is more positive now. So it means size is minimum. So just follow that relation. And here more negative, here we have, so more negative means more electron cloud is there, therefore its size is more. I hope you got how we are doing this type of questions, right? Okay. Okay. Now this one, correct decreasing order of atomic radii of lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon. So you just follow this whatever we discussed. Based on that you can do this question. Okay, so give a take this as question number 1. Let us say question number 1, and tell me what is the exact answer for question number 1 in the comment box. Okay, now just now we discussed about the anions, isoelectronic species. Yeah, just check whether these are isoelectronic species or not first. So here atomic number for nitrogen is 7, so it is having -3 means total 10 electrons. Oxygen atomic number 8, -2 means total 10 electrons. So for this F-1, it means 9 electrons are in atom, but anion, so +1 electron, so 10 electrons this is also. So isoelectron, so more negative charge, more size, more positive charge, less size. So based on that just compare the values. So which is having more size here, more negative is for sodium, nitrogen, so bigger value should be there. So bigger value is here. Then next, like this is the order, so like make that kind of order here. So this value, this is for nitrogen, this is for oxygen, this is for fluorine. That's how you can answer this question. Very simple questions. Okay, so the next thing is ionization energy. So what is ionization energy here? See, the name itself saying very simply it is ionization energy. See, you just take an atom. Let us say I have an atom here. Let us say we have an atom A. So to this atom should be in gaseous state. Atom should be in gaseous state and it should be isolated atom. Okay, atom should be in gaseous state. Whatever element you are taking, whatever the atom you are taking, that should be in gaseous state and it should be isolated. So we are ionizing this particular atom now. So when we are removing, ionizing means you should convert it into respective cation like this. Okay, so in order to do this, what you have to do, you have to remove one electron from here. It means you can write like this. Okay, this should be gaseous, this can be also gaseous. Now in order to do this process, let us say this is an element or this is an atom. It contains one electron, like some electrons here. This is the valence electron of that particular atom. Now the amount of energy required to remove this electron is called as ionization energy. What is that energy? Ionization energy. See, here is electron is there. See, I am using some amount of energy to remove this electron. Therefore, what I should call it as the minimum amount of energy required to remove this electron, the valency electron from the neutral gaseous isolated atom is considered as ionization energy. Okay. So here the minimum amount of energy required to remove electron from outermost orbit of isolated atom in the gaseous state is considered as ionization energy. Now it is become like A plus atom, I mean. So this is IE1, first ionization energy we can consider, because one electron is removed, you can say first ionization energy. Similarly, if you are removing one more electron from here to here, what happens? So it will becomes A plus 2 in gaseous state. So the process which you are doing here, you should call it as IE2, second ionization energy. Okay, and again if you are removing one more electron, that will be considered as third ionization energy. Like that you can give successive ionization energies. So always remember, when we comparing the successive ionization energy like IE1, IE2, IE3, so in most of the cases here also IE4 also we have written, we can consider them as successive ionization energy. Most of the cases always like last ionization energy, I mean IE4 is greater than IE3, IE2, IE1. Okay, now we have one more term called exothermic and endothermic process. See, since we are using some energy from outside, we are applying some energy to this system to remove the electron. So energy is absorbed by the system. So this process, ionization energy, is endothermic process. What is that? Endothermic process. So delta H symbol you should always give it as positive for this process. Okay, the next thing is variation of ionization energies in periodic table. So how this ionization varies in periodic table, we have to check. Okay. Okay. So down the group, what happens? See, in a period, the value of ionization energy increases from left to right. So we are moving from here to here. I mean from S block to P block. If we move, what happens? Ionization energy is increasing. Why it is increasing? Because size decreases now from left to right. From S block to P block, if we move, what happens to the atomic radius? Size decreases, atomic radius decreases. Therefore, electrons are strongly held to the nucleus. Therefore, in order to remove that electron which is strongly held by the nucleus, we require more amount of energy. It means high ionization energy is required. Therefore, we can generalize it as from moving from left to right or from S block to P block, ionization energy increases. So like this we can generalize it. Okay, and there are sometimes there might some exceptions also whenever we are seeing some stable electronic configuration. For example, if I compare oxygen ionization energy and nitrogen ionization energy, so here we have an exception. Like if you follow this general statement, oxygen should be having more ionization energy than the nitrogen, but due to its half filled stable electronic configuration, nitrogen is showing more ionization energy than oxygen. So let us write those elements of first group element or first period elements. What are the elements we have? Lithium, then next beryllium, next boron, next carbon, nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine. Okay, just write this. Always if we have like noble gas also, always remember, since noble gases have stable electronic configuration, they will be having highest ionization energy. Therefore, no need of comparing here. Okay, because they are already very stable. So, in order to remove electron from a stable species, it will be very difficult. Therefore, it requires more amount of energy. It means more ionization energy is required. Therefore, always noble gases will be having high ionization energy. Since fluorine is more electronegative element, this will be also having high ionization energy. So here when it comes to oxygen, what is electronic valence electronic configuration? 2p4. For nitrogen it is 2s2 2p 2p 3. So you can fill these electrons like this, and this one you can fill it like this. Now see here, if we remove this electron from oxygen, what happens? It will becomes 2s2 2p3, which is half filled configuration, which is stable. But if we remove from nitrogen, what happens? See, if I remove this electron, it will become 2s2 2p2, which is unstable electronic configuration. It means from a stable half filled configuration, it is becoming less stable electronic configuration, which will be requiring high amount of energy. Therefore, nitrogen is having more ionization energy than oxygen. Then next, when we compare carbon and nitrogen already we know, we discussed. Now when we compare boron and carbon, we know boron will be carbon will be having more. Now when it comes to beryllium and boron, what is the beryllium electronic configuration? 2s2. For boron it is 2s2 2p1. So here two things you can we can say here. The one is penetrating capacity, we can say. What do we mean by penetrating capacity? So here beryllium, this is the nucleus, and here electrons are in s orbital. We know s orbital is spherical in shape, which is very close to the nucleus. Therefore, in order to remove electron from this s orbital, it is very difficult because it is closely bound to the nucleus. Therefore, it will be very strongly, the electrons from in s orbital are strongly held to the nucleus when we compare with the p. Therefore, we can easily remove from p when we compare with the s. So this concept is called penetrating power. So penetrating capacity, we can say. So penetrating capacity of beryllium is more, like s orbital is more. Therefore, beryllium will be having more ionization energy than the boron. Okay. So simply when it comes to 2s1 and 2s2, we know this is fulfilled electronic configuration, directly can give it to beryllium. Now what is the exact values or exact adder for this particular for second period elements? So just write neon, next fluorine, next nitrogen, then next oxygen, then next next oxygen, next carbon, then next beryllium, next boron, next least is lithium. So this order you should remember. This order is very, very important. Similarly, you can try for, this is for second period elements. So I am giving it as homework for third period elements because these are common questions, traditional questions from this particular concept, second period, third period elements, ionization energies. Okay. Now when it comes to period is over. When it comes to groups, so down the group ionization energy decreases because size increases now. When size increases, electrons are far from the nucleus, it is easy to remove the valency electron because it is very far from the nucleus. Therefore down the group ionization energy decreases. Simply you can understand. Okay, always I told you successive ionization energy values will be increasing. So what is the units for ionization energy, or we can also say ionization potential? So there are the units like electron volt per atom in terms of atoms, or kilocalorie per mole in terms of moles we can say, or kilocalorie per mole I told you, and next kilojoule per mole we can say. So this can be given in terms of per atom or per mole. See, all the cases noble gases will be having highest ionization energies. So if we compare for noble gases down the group, what happens? So it is decreasing. It means helium is having highest, then it is 2500 2500 kilojoule per mole for helium. So like that is slowly decreasing, right? So you can compare like that. See, for first group elements we have discussed, in each group, in each period, alkali metals will be having lowest ionization energy in their respective periods, and noble gases will be having highest in their respective periods. Hope it is also clear. Next, okay, this question is very important. So why I am saying that many varies, because this kind of question, these models are usually we will be seeing in JEE exam also, NEET also, mains, I mean AEP set also. See, this is previously asked MSET question. So let us do this. Yeah, see here, this is a successive ionization energy, like we told now, IE1, IE2 ionization 1, second ionization energy, third ionization energy, like that. This is IE1, this is second one, this is third one, this is fourth one, this is fifth one. Now what they are asking, successive ionization energies of an element is given, then the element is, for which element these values are very suitable, they are asking. So when they are giving this kind of questions, just compare their values. See, first value, second value is almost comparable, something like twice of it, or twice or thrice of it. So 8 3s are, yeah, it is thrice of it. So here it is something like 4 times. From 1 to 2 it is comparable, from 2 to 3 also it is comparable. But once after third one, third ionization energy, see, compare with the fourth ionization energy, from here to here there is a very large jump, very large difference between their ionization energy. It means these first 3 electrons are easily removable. So we can remove these first 3 electrons, but the fourth electron, removing the fourth electron is very difficult, which means it is a stable electronic configuration. It means how many valency electrons are there in that particular element? It will be 3 valency electrons are there, which can be easily removed. The fourth electron is something like a noble gas configuration, which requires very high energy. Therefore, sudden increment in their value is observed. So when there is values given like this, just compare them. When there is a large jump or sudden jump in ionization energy value, you consider that whatever the less or comparable energies are there, that many electrons are present in the valency, and the sudden jump indicates it is stable electronic configuration or noble gas configuration. So we can remove only 3 electrons. So 3 valency electrons are present in which one? See here, when I compare for boron, see 2s2, 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. So if we remove these 3 electrons, see, it is having helium gas configuration, which means first option is correct. For carbon, if we take, it should be 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. So here, if I remove 3 electrons, I can also remove fourth one also, because after removing 3, we have 2s1. This electron also can be easily comparatively like comparable energy will be used to remove the 4s 1 electron, I mean fourth electron also, which means 4 values should be almost comparable, which means this is not the suitable one, only first one is suitable. Similarly, you can compare for this also for your reference. Okay. Next, isoelectronic species. Which are the following are isoelectronic? Just count number of electrons. See, O minus 2 means 10 electrons, F minus means also 10, N plus means also 10, Mg plus also 10. So just go for all of the above. So fourth option. Okay. Now match this. Electronic configuration of elements is given and their enthalpy values are given. Just match this. So we know what is the order we have discussed. What is the order we have discussed? So fluorine. Then next fluorine we discussed. Next nitrogen, oxygen. Then next carbon, beryllium, boron and lithium. Like this we discussed. Now see, here we have oxygen. This electronic configuration is for oxygen. This electronic configuration is for nitrogen, and this is for what? 5 means boron, and this is for beryllium. So now just compare this value, this order with their values. Just arrange those values in this manner, like increasing order. See, so maximum value should be for nitrogen. So maximum value, see, either you need to remember the values, exact values, or you just follow this trend and match them accordingly. So nitrogen you can match for this like maximum number, that is this one. Okay. Then next, after nitrogen we have oxygen. So this will be the value for oxygen. So you can match like this. Okay. Now after this beryllium will be having, so match this like this. So D1. So just go A2 will be there only in one option. So this kind of questions, luckily it will help with knowing few options also sometimes, because whatever the known options are there, go with that. So A2, B3, yes B3, C4, yeah. So our answer is definitely a correct one. Yeah. So next important points. Ionization energy increases with decrease in the size of an atom or an ion. Energy increases with decrease in the yeah. So what about screening effect? So ionization energy, see, ionization energy inversely proportional to size we discussed already. If it is smaller size, it will be having more ionization energy. And what about screening effect? See, ionization energy decreasing with the size of an ion, an atom or an ion, and ionization energy increases with the decreasing screening effect. If screening effect is decreasing, ionization energy increases. So what is screening effect? So screening effect means, see, for example, this is the nucleus. So this is the electron, valency electrons, like valency shell, like shells we can say. Now this is the valency electron we have. So now these are the inner electron clouds we can say. If these inner electrons which are present in the like inside shells, so if these electrons are protecting or acting as a shield to this electron between the nucleus and the electron, see, this nucleus should show its nuclear force of attraction on all these electrons, right? Okay. Now while showing this nuclear force of attraction, if this whatever the inner electrons are present, if they are acting like a shield or if they are hindering this nucleus to show its nuclear force of attraction on the valency electron, so that can be considered as shielding effect. If this shielding effect is more, we can easily remove this electron. So more shielding effect, less ionization energy. Okay, I hope this is also clear. Okay. So ionization energy increases with increase in nuclear charge. Yes, right. More positive charge, more ionization energy. Ionization energy increases if atoms have half filled and fully filled configuration. We already discussed. So penetrating capacity, I already told, S will be having more than P. Like beryllium, boron we compared now. S will be having more than P, then D, then F. It's about ionization energy, important points. See, now in the periodic table, See, from this side we know ionization energy from left to right, I mean from S block to P block, we know ionization energy what happens, increases. Generally we can say down the group it is decreases. If we go diagonally, the elements which are placed diagonally, so we will be having similar electron like ionization energy, because we are taking diagonally, because this side is increasing, this side decreasing, it means in this it will be almost same. So due to those kind of reasons we need to study some more concepts called diagonal relationship. We will be discussing about that later. Okay, so now see here, those elements which are having low ionization energy can act as strong reducing agents. So now alkali metals are considered to be strong reducing agents because they are highly reactive, they can easily lose that electron, and that electron is taken by some other species which undergoes reduction, and these species, the alkali metal is now considered as reducing agent. So that's why reducing agent, reducing character is inversely proportional to ionization potential. We know alkali metals have low ionization potential, therefore they will be strong reducing agent. See, minimum IP, ionization potential, strong reducing agents. So this is a reducing agent nature. Okay, and yeah, because lithium will be having more ionization potential, so it will be based on that. If we compare, sodium will be having low ionization than potassium, so it means sodium will be like less reductive or reducing agent than the potassium when we compare both of them. Okay, based on their reducing agent values we can give this relation. Okay, so the next thing is electron gain enthalpy. So what do we need to know about electron gain enthalpy? So electron, name itself saying, so let us have an atom A. So to this, let us say this is a gaseous atom which is isolated. Again this should be isolated. So to this if I add one electron, it will become A minus. This should be also in gaseous state. The energy associated, the enthalpy associated with this process is considered as electron gain enthalpy. Okay, when an electron is added to a neutral gaseous atom to convert into negative ion, anion, the enthalpy change accompanying in the process is defined as the electron gain enthalpy. It is indicated with delta H Eg, electron gain enthalpy. Okay, this provides what is the use of electron gain enthalpy? See, if more amount of energy is released, it means it is more negative, I can say. So that process is called exothermic process if energy releases. So that says that we can easily add that electron to that particular species. If energy is released, the system's energy is decreasing. System's energy is decreasing means system is becoming more stabilized. It means that particular ion is more stable than the respective atom. Okay, yeah. So this is about ionization energy. The relative a story or a relative concepts or relative questions which belongs to this electron gain enthalpy and electronegativity will be discussed in the next lecture. Okay, so stay tuned for the next lecture. So we are going to solve all the questions on this electron gain enthalpy in very simplest manner, and also other questions from this periodic properties and classification of elements chapter. So thank you for watching. So happy learning. Okay.